So for this video, we are going to focus on transformations of functions, specifically quick sketches of the quadratic function, the square root function, and the absolute value function. So we're mainly going to be talking about the parent function of each one of these, understanding the components of that, and then using that to easily graph the quadratic, the square root, and the absolute value. I do have individual videos that go a little bit more in depth into each technique if you do want to look into that. So this is going to go over quick sketches of these transformations, starting with the quadratic function. So the quadratic function looks something like this. So you have a function that's squared, anything raised to that second power there. You are working with a quadratic equation, which has the parabola shape like that. This is an example of a positive parabola. If we were looking at a negative parabola here, it would just be facing downwards in this direction here. Some of the main components that we want to understand about a quadratic function here. First, here in the front of the equation, we have this a. The a is going to tell us a couple of important things. First, it's going to tell us if we have a compression or a stretch going on. So just for a real quick example of that, if this were our parent function for a quadratic equation, the parent function for the quadratic is just y is equal to x squared. So think of it kind of as the most basic form of a graph for a quadratic equation. So y equals x squared. It has none of the extra transformations. It doesn't have an a here in front. It doesn't have this h, doesn't have this k. It's simply just x squared. And if we plugged in values for x here, if we plugged in 0, right, we would get 0. 0 squared is 0. So we'd get the point 0, 0 right there. If we plugged in a 1 for x, well, 1 times 1 is a 1. If we plugged in negative 1 for x, negative 1 times negative 1 is a 1. Right, if we plugged in 2, we get a 4. Plug in negative 2, we get a 4. 3, 9, 4, 16, and so on and so forth. So think of that as that's your parent function. It's the most basic form here. From that, if we have an a here in front, so let's say if this was y is equal to 2x squared, y is equal to 1/3 x squared, there's a coefficient in front of x other than a 1 is when this is going to apply here. A compression, think of it, if you're compressing something, you're squeezing something in. The way that would look here with a quadratic is it would essentially make it look skinnier. A compression might be turn your graph into something like this, right? It's just a lot thinner. A stretch, well, you're going to be stretching something out, right? So pulling it apart. So it's going to look a lot wider, something like that. The bigger a is, the skinnier it is. The smaller a is, so, the smaller of a fraction, it's going to be something wide like that. The second most important thing that a is going to tell you is if your function is positive or negative. If it's positive, your graph is going to be facing this upward direction. If it's negative, it's going to be facing downward. The second most important transformation here is this minus h. This h represents a horizontal shift. So what it would do is it would take this graph and just move it left or right. Thinking if we could just move it left or right, and that's the only direction we can move it, that's what that h is. It's a horizontal shift. Now, if we take a look at all the equations here that we're going to talk about, the quadratic function, I want you to take a look at the square root function, and then take a look at the absolute value function here. All three of them have that a there in front. They all mean the same thing. They're all going to tell you if it's positive or negative. It's all going to tell you if there's a compression or a stretch on your graph. They all have an x minus h on the inside. And when I say on the inside of the absolute value bars, on the inside of your radical, on the inside of your parentheses here, those h's are all horizontal shift. On the outside here, we have this plus k. K is a vertical shift. So if the h's are horizontal, it moves our graph left or right. K is our vertical shift. It's going to move it up or down. Now, the most important thing to remember between the difference of h and k is because h comes with this equation here already negative. So the way that I kind of want you to think of it here, if the number is on the inside of a parentheses here, you want to go the opposite direction that the sign's telling you. A plus 3 is actually going to tell you to move to the left 3. A minus 1 is actually going to tell you to go right 1. So do the opposite sign or opposite direction of that number there. So let's go ahead and let's just jump into the actual points of a quadratic equation. So back to the parent function, right? We said that if you plug in 0, you get 0. Think of that as your starting point, right? Which is also called the vertex of a quadratic equation here. The vertex is represented from HK, and the vertex needs to be the first thing that you want to think about graphing here. So I would always say, number one, plot the vertex for every single one of these. So let's go ahead and just jump in that, and let's do that here with example A. If we plot the vertex here for example A, again, the vertex comes from your H and your K. Now again, if a number is on the inside of the parentheses, you want the opposite sign of that. So H would actually be a -3 here. K is just K. If that says -4, then K is a -4. So our vertex here is a -3, -4. Go ahead and plot that. -3 and then -4 is going to be right over there. After you plot your vertex, the next thing that you want to do is look at the sign of your equation here. Is it positive or is it negative? Right? If it's positive, I know that this is going to be going upward. If it's negative, it's going to be going downward from here. Well, ours is definitely positive, so I know it's going to be following this upward movement here a little bit. So otherwise, we can go to our shifts for our points. So back up to our parent function here. From 0, 0, the next points are over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1 on either side, right? +1, +1, -1, -1. And then it would be 2 and 4, -2 and 4 here. So you want to remember those points. So from our vertex here, right, our next points from there, over 1, up 1 in either direction. So from here to the right 1, up 1, to the left 1, up 1 for our second and our third points. If we wanted to, we can go over 2 and up 4 from here, over 2 and up 4 from here, following the same motion here. Connect your dots, and that is a quick sketch of what your graph would be here. So we're just going to be doing quick sketches here. Again, if you need a little bit more detail into these graphs, I have individual videos that focus on that, but these are just quick sketches of the quadratic function here. Jumping right into example B. If we take a look at example B, you want to plot your vertex first. The second thing that we wanted to look at is look at our sign there. Look at A. So let's plot our vertex. For this one here, again, HK, pull that exactly from your equation. Opposite of the inside would be a +1. Same number of the outside would be a +2. So our vertex here is a +1, +2. So we're going to go over 1, up 2. Then look at your sign. This is negative, so I need to be following this downward movement here. Over 1, down 1. Over 1, down 1 from there. Again, the same points as our parent function here. From your vertex, out 1, over 1 in each direction. So from our vertex here, out 1, over 1 in each direction. I can also go out 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4 if I want it. Out 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is what my quadratic equation would look like here. Now, for example C, we do have an A here that is not a 1. If you notice, every single one of these was a 1, which is why we're able to follow the movements here of our parent function. So whenever we have a number here as our A that is not a 1, I'm just going to tell you to do something slightly different here. Again, we're talking about doing quick sketches here. So this is how we're going to do this. So step 1 is still the same. Plot the vertex. Our vertex here would be a -1, -1. Again, opposite of the inside, so a -1. Same as the outside, so -1. So our vertex is -1, -1. If we take a look at A, we have a +2, so it is positive, so our graph should be going in this upward motion here. We just need to figure out a couple of points. And because this number here in front, our A, is not a 1, that is going to shift our point slightly. Remember, it's going to make our graph skinnier, which means it's not just going to be over 1, up 1. It's going to differ just a little bit here. So what I would just tell you to do here, let's just do a quick little XY table. Let's just calculate 2 points real quick here. So I'm just going to pick the points right to the next here. So I'm going to pick a 0, and I'm going to pick a -2. Plug those into your equation. If I plug in a 0 here, that is 0 plus 1 squared, Well, 1 squared is just a 1, right? Which gives me 2 minus 1, which is a 1 when we simplify that. That means we get the point 0, 1. If I plug in a negative 2 and simplify as well here, well, negative 2 plus 1 is a negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is just a 1. So we get 2 minus 1 is just a 1 all over again. So for a negative 2, we get a positive 1. Do note that a quadratic equation, a parabola, is symmetrical. So you notice the points on either side are always going to line up with each other. Out 1, over 1. This one was out 1, up 2 in either direction. But a quadratic equation is symmetrical down its vertex here. If you were to fold this in half, everything on the left should match up perfectly with everything on the right. So you're going to see that these points are going to fall in line with each other. But that's our quick sketch with that one. So let's talk about the square root function. The square root function looks very similar to the quadratic. We still have the a here in front. Instead of the x minus h being parentheses squared, this is just the square root of x minus h plus k. xk is still our starting point here. A still represents a compression or a stretch, and if it's positive or negative. So right over here, we have our positive version of the graph. Our negative version of the graph would be going downward like this. H is still a horizontal shift. Again, just do the opposite of what that number is. K, do exactly what K says. Plus a number, minus a number. Otherwise, points of our parent function here. Your first point is going to be 0, 0. Again, if I plug in a 0, well, the square root of 0 is 0, right? So if I plugged in a 0, I would get a 0 for my y. If I plugged in a 1 for x, I would also still get a 1 for my y, since the square root of 1 is a 1. I'm going to skip 2 and I'm going to skip 3, and the next number I would use is a 4, which means the square root of 4 is a 2. So your starting point is going to be 0, 0. From there, up 1, over 1, and then still from there, up 2 over 4 from your starting point here. So 0, 0. Think that is your starting point, right? Up 1 over 1 from there, and then up 2 over 4 from there. So let's see if we can sketch that quickly here. Start with your HK. Our HK here, again, opposite of the inside makes that a positive 2. Same thing as the outside makes that negative 1. So we have a positive 2, negative 1. Look at A, right? Look at your sign. This is positive, so it should be following this upward movement. From your starting point, up 1 over 1. So from here, up 1 over 1. Then you want to do up 2 over 4 from your starting point. So back to your starting point, up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect the dots, and there is your sketch. Moving on to the next example here. You can start with plotting HK. Opposite of the inside makes that a negative 3. Same thing as the outside makes that a positive 2. When we plot that, we get a negative 3, positive 2. Again, look at your A next here. A is negative 1, so we're just going to go downward here in the negative direction. Over 1, down 1. From your starting point, you're going to go down 2, over 4, right? 1 and 1, 2 and 4, just like here. 1 and 1, 2 and 4, just in the negative direction. For example F here is going to be our example that we have a number here in front for our A that is not a 1. So once again, we are going to plot HK first, which is going to be a negative 1 here, which is going to be right there. This is a positive graph, so this should be shooting in an upward movement. I'm going to pick, so from this point here, you still want to choose x values that fall in line with the square root function. From your starting point, the next x value needs to be 1 over. So from my starting point here, if I go 1 over, this is 0, right, where x is 0. The next point here from your starting point is over 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do that same thing here, if I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, that is a 3. So I'm going to plug in a 0 and a 3 here for x and simplify. So let's see, I'm going to plug in a 0 And then I'm going to plug in a 3. Simplify each one of these so I can get my points here. Well, 0 plus 1 is just a 1, and the square root of 1 is just a 1. So this is just 2 minus 1, which is a 1. That gives me the point 0, 1. If I do that for 3, so 3 plus 1 is a 4. Square root of 4 is a 2. So 2 times 2 here is 4. And minus 1 gives us a 3. That gives me the point 3, 3. Connect your dots, and that's about what that one's going to look like. Absolute value function. So absolute value function, again, looks very similar. A in front, x minus h on the inside of our absolute value, plus k. Basic points of the parent function here is going to start at 0, 0. And then everything from there is going to go out 1, over 1, out 1, over 1, out 1, over 1 in either direction. So let's jump straight into this here. So plot HK first. All right, that's going to be your first step for all 3 of them. Your second step for all 3 of them is going to be to look at your sign. Otherwise, follow the points. All right, so our HK here, opposite of the inside, same thing as the outside. You have a positive 3, positive 1. From there, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. And you can go again if you want. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. Connect your dots. Absolute value graphs always look like V's. Your positive V or your negative V. Jumping right into the other one here. Again, start with your HK. Here, HK, so we have a negative 2 and a negative 3. So negative 2, negative 3 would go right there. This is negative, so this should be going in a downward motion. Over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. Right? Connect your dots. In my opinion, the absolute value is the easiest one to graph and understand. Literally out 1, over 1 in either direction. Focus on your starting point. Focus on your sign. And for the most part, you have a very good idea of what this graph will look like. Here, for example, Example I, H would be a negative 3. K would be a positive 2. So we go left 3, up 2. This is a negative 2 here for A, so this is going to be going downward here, right? So our graph should look something like that, right? A downward V motion here. So I am going to do an XY table using the X values on either side. That means a negative 2 and then a negative 4 when I plug that in. So let's see, negative 2 and then a negative 4 are the 2 points I'm going to be calculating here. So negative 2 plus 3 is a 1. Absolute value of 1 is just a 1, which means we're left with a negative 2 plus 2, or a 0. So that is a negative 2, 0 right over here. Negative 4 plus 3 is a negative 1 here. Well, absolute value of a negative 1 is a 1, leaving us with negative 2 plus 2, which once again is a 0. So we're getting a 0 on either side here. So absolute value, just like the quadratic function, is symmetrical on each side. And that is what that sketch would look like.